welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for videos like this. The rainbow makes it even funnier. She's officially been claimed.
Y'all, look at this. Look. How did they get it to not spill? It's open.
It is open. I saw the same thing on TikTok. Somebody had seen it in a different state, and they were trying to say they were angels.
There's like tens of thousands of these reflective objects in the air. I thought they were birds at first, but looking closer, it's literally just these reflective objects. What is this? It's all coming closer here, so I'm gonna get out of here.
That's crazy. Hey, look in the sky.
I am scared.
I don't think I like them either. Yee, that was his last job. Just pass me the salt.
So there's a movie called Fly Me to the Moon that just came out last year.
Right. Yes.
I think that really happened. I think two things were happening at the same time. They faked the moon landing to show that, because just in case the real mission, anything, they didn't make it or went down or something catastrophic, they didn't want to air that, right? So they want to air the fake one and really go to the moon landing. So I think that we really been there, but what really happened is they found out something was occupying the moon already, and they got shooed away. Okay? So Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin said, we got there, we were shooed away, and then when they landed, it rang like a bell when they landed. That means it's hollow, in which gives way to it's a base, because I don't think the moon is actually just a rock. I think it's a base. So a good colleague of mine, big homie BH, he does, security guard work for celebrities and government and everything else, right? Told me a story that he wanted to get hired. Somebody wanted to hire him, Sergeant Carl Wolf. Now, he was working for NASA, and he said, hey, can you bodyguard me? I'm about to go in front of Congress and show these photos that NASA wanted me to scrub. Now, on these photos, they were saying that, scrub these so we can release them to the public. Now, what's on these photos is there is a truck-shaped type of machinery thing on there to where it's like 2 miles long, and they wanted to scrub that, right? So he says, no, I can't take the job above my pay grade. So he denies the job. His car is still getting broken into and all this other stuff weeks after. Then Sergeant Carl Wolf ends up getting hit by a car, and he's dead. So if it wasn't real, then why are people getting hit by cars? Go back to cave paintings and everything else, ancient pictures, the moon's not there, right? So
Oh, that's crazy.
even with the moon itself, it really looks like what? The Death Star. Now you remember in Star Wars, right? The Death Star looked like what? The moon that was built and brought to a system. So I think that's what it is.
That is a deer running in the water. Oh my God! Is anybody seeing this besides us?
that deer really said, if Jesus can do it, I can too. He can keep the house, 'cause I'm gone.
This is one of the most demonic poltergeist exorcisms ever performed. This is 20-year-old Annalise Mitchell. She was a Catholic. Her family said Annalise Mitchell was a very healthy teenager who had no problems at all. Until one day they had to call a priest in because Annalise Mitchell was acting completely different. As you can see, Annalise Mitchell was a very healthy teenager. She had no problems at all. After her being possessed, her family said they noticed differences in her facial features. I'm about to show you guys these pictures, but warning, they are a bit on the gruesome side. Annalise had lost a lot of weight. Her teeth literally started to rot, and she had bruises all around her eyes, and blisters started to appear in her mouth, which is absolutely insane. This is the real official audio of Annalise Mitchell being possessed and speaking in 5 different languages.
Ich hab recht dazu, dass ich in dem Wald rein bin. Ich trag dir die Rotznase noch so lang, bis es lebt wird. Saublöde Weib. Und geht kein zurück. Nee! In alle Ewigkeit!
Guys, this was an actual exorcism. You can literally research this. The family had reported saying Annalise Mitchell had 67 exorcisms performed on her and nothing worked. The family even said at one point her body started to levitate off of the bed during an exorcism. This has to be one of the most eeriest and scariest exorcisms I've ever read about. If you guys want more spooky videos like this, just hit that follow button and make sure to like the video and comment what you want me to talk about next. If you don't mind, share, hit that share button, copy a link to all your friends. I'm trying to go viral, y'all. We're all trying to go viral here. Let's do it, y'all. Let's help one another out. I love you all, though. Peace out. Thank you for the support.
If you're in a magical state, then if you create a piece of art while in that state, it is a way back into that state.
The same applies to written words.
I used to be a big space guy. I used to be really into it. And then I just realized that it was all ritual, basically. Ritual and missile testing and propaganda for the whole idea of everlasting technological progress, which we're now realizing is a myth. We're really coming up against the end of it. All these quote-unquote space programs, you make absolute almost trillionaires out of people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and what's the payback? Well, they've got to perform the rituals, I mean, NASA isn't very good at it anymore, so you need some young, technologically savvy upstarts to perform the obligations to the sky gods. And to most people, that sounds absolutely insane until you really start to break down the symbolism and the timing. You talked about the day after Palm Sunday. Musk has been doing stuff on the cross-quarter days. The whole thing, it's all a big show.
Кажется, сейчас будет шок-контент.
Я что?
Как нам продолжать поход?
Help me and take my soul or let me die.
Y'all need to stop following every trend. That Labubu doll, it's evil. A girl posted a video saying she threw hers out after waking up with a scar on her neck. No one else was in the room, no pets, no sharp objects, just her and that creepy doll.
To throw my Labubu away, and that's what I did. Cut the show. Cut the mother show. Y'all, look at this. That's a dumb that is
How did
not
that
a
get there?
scratch. My nails are not even that long or sharp for me to scratch myself. I took a nap, y'all, like an hour and a half nap right now.
Her brother came in at 3 a.m., left the door open, came back, and it was fully closed. So who shut it? And now people are pulling up old Simpsons clips where a doll just like Labubu causes chaos. Y'all know the Simpsons be predicting stuff. This isn't the only case. Other people say they've had nightmares, scratches, cold spots, and weird sounds, all after getting one of these dolls. And honestly, why buy a toy that looks like that? The sharp teeth, wide eyes, it looks cursed. Keep playing with this stuff if you want, but don't say you weren't warned. Had a weird Labubu story?
This smell of sulfur or burnt cardboard or ammoniac, it's like this very distinct, potent, putrid smell.
They were very bird-like. They would disappear when you got near them. So I go creeping downstairs and out onto the front porch. It's still standing there, doing this, moving their arms, and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. And so I step down in the yard, and they're still doing it, moving their arms. Then there's a telepathic message that they're cleansing themselves, that it's waste matter. It was like they were defecating, but they do it through their skin. Years and years and years pass. I pick up the Reddit document, and the first paragraph is that described exactly.
And then we heard about it during the Varginha case.
Just the smells in the Varginha case.
The smells, and that there was slime. They were oily.
Well, they are.
Anyway, I started doing more digging and then realized also, the movie, the Island about cloning and all the other weird things that happened. I saw Epstein shapeshift. I mean, I don't want to jump ahead here because...
Wait, say that again. You saw Jeffrey Epstein shapeshift, you said?
Yes. He turned into something else.
Say that one more time.
I saw Jeffrey Epstein shapeshift into a devil-like reptilian creature. I want to be lie detected on it. Did you not know?
What was it? No. I did not know that, but no, I did not know that.
Talk about. Well, do you know what?
No, tell me more, because I hear all about this, the reptilians and the greys and the shapeshifting and all that, but this is... Wow.
So if someone else told me this, I would think they were mad. Sorry to swear again. If someone else told me this, I would think they were mad.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it happened to me and I saw it. And I swear on my family's life, I swear on everyone and everything I love's lives, that I saw this man turn into something else in front of my eyes.
And that's why it's still alive. Saturation diving looks like being lost in space.
POV. When you've been involved in an accident, his fault, then this happens.
Think about it. You're in the middle lane. I'm on the outside lane. You have hit from in here.
One arguing at a time.
मुमताज ये तुर्की से आए हैं आपसे मिलने के लिए वॉल्स कंपनी के हैं ये
I'm very good. Well, he's asking how you feel Pakistan, how you... Great. It's great. All the time about Pakistan. Yes, we are watching. Okay. Okay.
This device is a dream recorder by Modem. It turns your dreams into actual videos. Here's how it works. When you wake up, you simply describe your dream out loud to this little device. Then AI takes over and generates a short dreamlike video based on what you just said. The videos are intentionally blurry and surreal, morphing fluidly like actual dreams do. Think ultra low definition footage that feels more like a fever dream than a Hollywood movie. What's crazy is it stores up to 7 videos, one for each day of the week, creating your personal dream diary that you can actually watch back. But here's the coolest twist. The entire project is open source. You can literally download the files from GitHub and build your own using a Raspberry Pi and 3D printer. Artists and writers are already going wild with this thing, using it to visualize their subconscious and turn dreams into creative content.
On today's episode of Whose Head is Shinier?
Ooh, I wonder how reflective.
That's very fucking reflective. Oh my god!
He could use his head as his car's headlight.
Something weird is going on around the world this week with the weather. In Guizhou, China, floodwaters surged over 837 feet, swallowing up neighborhoods and roads. Experts are saying that this is a once-in-a-50-year flood, and locals are saying they've never seen anything like this in their life. In Alabama today, an absolutely massive weather phenomenon appeared and then disappeared over Birmingham. Experts are saying that this could be a meteor or it was a radar glitch. And while media is reporting that now June is the new July with intense summer heats coming earlier than ever before, it is hailing in Tampa, Florida today. There is a 4.2 magnitude earthquake in Albania today. Buses in New York are falling into sinkholes because of the heat, and bridges in China are collapsing because of the rain. While everyone's focused on what's going on in the Middle East this week, I want to ask you, what do you think is going on with the weather? As always, let me know down below.
Oh!
Oh my word.
Oh my god!
What is it?
Oh! I can't.
What is it?
Stop. Stop.
What is it?
I have no idea.
I would sue the whole country.
People always ask me how we find water while we're on expeditions in the Amazon rainforest. And it's actually simpler than you think, because the river's going by. The trick is you move the cup. You move the cup with the river and got yourself a drink.
And Daria has entered the chat. Would you do it? Leave a comment.
Kardeş ne oldu? Bayıldın amına koyayım. İyi misin? Bir sıkıntın var mı?
All right, guys, you have to look at this view. It's insane. Outside here on these doors. Oh. Son of a... Oh, man. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Nope. I'm telling everybody.
Yep, that's his Uber.
This is a breakthrough in the future of computing. That pink liquid, it's full of living human brain cells. And here's the crazy part. Scientists are combining those brain cells with traditional silicon to build computers that are alive. It's pretty wild. Now, this is a brand new industry of technology called biocomputing. These are real human neurons that can actually think and learn for themselves. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering one thing. Why are they doing this? It feels a bit much to be growing human brains just to put them into computers. Well, listen to this. It turns out human brain cells have extremely rare abilities to process things without being trained. Normal computers have to be taught to solve problems. It's why AI models take so much energy and training data to build. But as soon as you add brain cells to a computer chip, they don't really need as much training. They kind of start figuring out what to do on their own, just like a human would. Now, because of this, these biocomputers are super efficient. A regular supercomputer might use 40 million watts of power to solve a complex task. The human brain can do it in just 20. That's 2 million times more efficient. And this means these biocomputers could become the secret weapon to solving humanity's hardest computational challenges. But there is just one massive problem. Brain cells tend to die when their temperature deviates from 98.6 degrees, and computers generate a ton of heat. So we have this wild situation where living computers could be the solve for everything, but it's almost impossible to keep the brain part alive. Today, companies like Cortical Labs are selling these biocomputers for $35,000. But over time, scientists are gonna figure out how to get them more stable and accessible. It's wild to say, but I think soon we're gonna have living computers that literally think like humans.
Mientras esta chica grababa un video para redes sociales, aparece un ser humanoide espeluznante y ni cuenta se dieron.
No, Malena, se me está quedando el auto. Dale, por Dios, te pido Dios que nos ayudes. Dios, nos ayudes. Dios, te pido por favor llegar a casa. Te pido por favor. Dios, te pido, reza, Malena.
And who actually thought they were on the boat. Vivarium neighborhood. Just saying.
This is a farm in Vietnam where workers are harvesting edible birds' nests. These nests are made by swiftlets, which use their thick, sticky saliva to build them. Unlike other birds that use twigs, swiftlets rely entirely on their saliva, which hardens upon contact with air to form the nest's structure. The harvesting process is labor-intensive, requiring skilled workers to carefully collect the nests from specialized nesting houses. The first step is to inspect the nests using specialized tools to check for baby birds. Once a nest is confirmed to be empty, workers lightly spray it with water to soften the hardened saliva, making it easier to remove without breaking. They carefully remove the nest in one piece. Once harvested, the nests undergo a meticulous cleaning process to remove impurities like feathers and dust. This is often done by hand to ensure quality. After cleaning, some nests need to be reshaped before being dried and packaged for sale.
Hey, would you try?
A miracle is like extreme synchronicity. First of all, if you believe in miracles, you'll experience them. If you don't believe in miracles, you'll never experience it. It's the same thing with anything in physics. Whatever you don't believe in, you will not experience. So, it's like if you think you can or you think you can't, you'll be right. The world is not about believing, or seeing as believing. It's believing as seeing. There are three types of people. People that believe in miracles, those that don't believe in miracles, and those that, and therefore never experience miracles, and those that understand and know that life itself is the miracle and you are the miracle.
Never forget who you really are.
Not enough people are aware that Netflix is a vessel for mass psychological warfare. The co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, is the great-nephew of Edward Bernays. Edward Bernays is known as the father of propaganda, and Edward Bernays himself is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, who's known as the father of psychoanalysis. So Bernays took his understanding of Freudian psychology and applied it to mass communication and manipulation of the collective unconscious. He worked for both the CIA and the military in the realm of psychological operations. And in 1928, Bernays wrote a book titled Propaganda. 5 years prior, he wrote a book titled Crystallizing Public Opinion. The cherry on top, though, is Bernays' involvement with the Vatican. Cardinal Francis Spellman, the Archbishop of New York, sent Bernays to the Vatican to learn and study the Jesuits' methods of mental programming. This visit took place in 1957, the same year the papal bull Miranda Porcis was issued, which publicly commands all Roman Catholics to seize as much control of media as possible, whether that be through television, movies, or news outlets. For a little more context on Jesuit involvement in programming through entertainment, the Hollywood Production Code was written by Jesuit priest Daniel Lord S.J., and the Jesuits have been producing theatrical work since the time of their inception, and even helped write the works of Shakespeare through Sir Toby Matthew, who was a close friend of Francis Bacon and the Rosicrucians. So we know these guys have an affinity for programming through media. Ignoring the connection between their founder and the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays, let's examine Netflix a little further. The wife of Mark Randolph and the former CEO of Netflix was Jesuit trained at 2 different private Jesuit institutions. Other Netflix executives are also Jesuit indoctrinated, while others like Suzanne Rice and Logan Jackson are Rhodes Scholars. The Cecil Rhodes Scholarship Program is to funnel the brightest young minds to Oxford and indoctrinate them into globalist alliance. It was stated by Cecil Rhodes at the time of his death in his will that he wanted to create a secret society that was modeled after the Jesuit order. Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. I'm gonna make a video all about that. I actually posted one on another account that got taken down already. Most of you could probably pinpoint in your memory a show or a movie that you thought was a bit peculiar, programming to a degree, but the truth is 90% of them are. The most obvious being things like Leave the World Behind, Don't Look Up, Stranger Things, Marriage Story, The Two Popes, and even Big Mouth. And I'm sure you haven't forgotten about the movie that's borderline child entertainment, if you will. Cuties, it was called. That's my favorite one to go back and, you know, rewatch, research for educational purposes. But yeah, Netflix, to no surprise for most of you, I'm sure, is a vessel of mass psychological manipulation, which is no different from the videos I'm making. You know, who can you trust these days?
Are you gonna cancel your Netflix? Let me know in the comments. And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.